Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn space science today, the Karman line, and afterward we're going to do a bit morning stretching. And if you participate in the morning stretching, let's sit down risk. Now, if you're here for space science, previously we had done it in Where Does Space Begins. So if you're here for new things, you can go to the next video. Where does space begin? It's easy to think that space begins where Earth's atmosphere stops. But it's not that simple. The air gets thinner and thinner the higher you go, and there's no hard line. After asking a question for years, most scientists now agree that space starts at the Karman line. This is a made-up line 100 kilometers above Earth's surface. In most countries, you have to cross the Karman line to become an astronaut. In the United States, astronauts can earn their wings by flying 80 kilometers above the surface. Now, we already did a little presentation about that, with the title Where Does Space Begins, but it's the whole time since we did that. It's included in Where Does the Space Begins. Why don't we directly make a video, the Karman line? So we're back here, and we're going to do a little video, the Karman line. And what I'm going to say, the Karman line is 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface, and because it can't be really said, because it can't be really said where space begins, because the air just gets thinner and thinner, the people then came together and agreed on this made-up, invented Karman line 100 kilometers above Earth, and say above that is space, below that not. And someone who crosses that with a spaceship is considered an astronaut. The Karman line is 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface. The Karman line is 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface, and at that point, space begins. Now, I have a second camera. I'm going to start it now. And now I try to make that little presentation about the Karman line. Karman. The Karman line is 100 kilometers above Earth's surface, and above that is space. People were thinking where the space begins. The air just gets thinner and thinner. And so they came together and then decided we're going to do the Karman line, and that is 100 kilometers above the Earth, and everything above it is space. And people who have flown with a spaceship above that line, so more than 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface, are considered astronauts. The Karman line is an invented, made-up line 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface, and from that point onwards, space begins. And that is according to Isabel Thomas' Out of This World book, page 6. It's very early around. Out of This World by Isabel Thomas. And I wasn't sure what was written here with the long title, so I wanted to have a little time to look at what is written there. I was saying the name, because I knew where it was. I'm going to stop the second camera. And we are doing now the morning stretching. If you were here for space science, the Karman line, you can go directly to the next video of space science. We will do now the morning stretching. If you stay here and do the morning stretching, let's sit on this screen. Next, around shoulder with wide apart, and we're doing forward shoulder circuits. Yes, we're going back, up, in the front, and down. Going back, up, in the front, and down. And now backwards in front, up, back, and down. And the last time. And now breathe in and lift the shoulders up. And breathe out and let them fall down. Breathe in and lift the shoulders up. And out, let them fall down. Again, in, lift the shoulders up. And out, let them fall down. Now the upper pluck up. You're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And reaching high. We're pretending to take an apple hanging high on an apple branch. Turn it around, and thereby to harvest it. And the last 2 times. Now we're doing a shift up. Legs wide apart, arms up to a T, we're breathing in. And out, we're shifting just at the upper part of the body over to one side. And breathe again in. And out back into the middle. Again in. And out over to the other side. Again in. And out over to one side. Again in. And out. Now in and under. And out we're going down and we are leaning onto our knees. We're doing the buffalo fighting its hangover. We're breathing again in. And out we bring one shoulder in front. And breathing again in. Shoulder back. And out the other one in front. Again in the shoulder back. And out the shoulder in front. In and the shoulder back. And out the shoulder in front. Again in and the shoulder back. And last one, the shoulder in front. Again in the shoulder back. And out the shoulder in front. Breathe in the shoulder back. And out and we're hanging down. And breathe again in. And out over to one leg. Breathe again in. And out over to the other leg. Breathe again in. Out into the middle. Breathe again in. And now the Karman slowly and not one straight. With a round back up, making a double backwards sound. Now we're going to do the garden pose. The torso pointing to the outside, having an unlimited space between the heels, the breathing in lifting the arms up. And we're breathing out and we're sinking down and we're placing the elbows against the inside of the knees. Now breathe in and straighten up the back. And breathe out and we're coming to the back. And breathe in. And out back into the garden pose. Breathe in and straighten up the back. And out. Take it up. And breathe in. And out back into the middle. Breathe in and straighten up the back. And breathe out, we're coming slowly in one straight line upwards. Lifting up, down. And the next exercise we see horse pose. We're having a good standing leg. We're placing the heel of a mobile leg on top of the knee of a standing leg. We're breathing in. And out, we're sinking down. Now we had in astronomy, so if you just do space science, in astronomy we did, why does the moon shape space? We weren't really able to explain it, but it is because the moon takes another position at the Earth, and now another part is shined upon by the sun just on the side, where we can see only the part where the sun shines on. The moon itself has no light. And we see only the part where the sun shines on. And if the moon is not standing next to us, like that now, if you're like that here from the sun, we have that side, we can see that side. If you're standing over the Earth here, we can see the full moon bright from the sun. If now the moon travels on and goes to another part, we can here to that part, we can see only that part bright, only the right side of his finger here, not bright. The other part, now the front part, is in the shadow of the sun from that one. And now we can see only the left side of the sun, and that is why the moon changes shape. We're going with the other leg down, do this exercise only if you can do it without injury yourself. And in Scientology, we had why does the moon look patchy? And that is because there was probably lava a few billion years ago, and now the lava had cooled down, and all these, I don't know if you can see it, all these darker spots on the moon, these were places where lava was a few million years ago. It has cooled down, but now they are just darker. The sun isn't reflected that much, it means they are darker. And in the ancient Greeks thought these were oceans, or seas or lakes, and they gave them, or other people gave them in the past, sea or water names like Marsh of Decay, these areas, if they wanted to map it. But these are places where lava was. It's now dried, cooled down, but these are these dark, so patchy spots. Last exercise, legs wide apart, and breathing in and going down. And breathe out. Again in. And out. And breathe in and down. And out. Again in. Out. And in and cross legs. And out. That was the morning stretching. I thank you very much, and until next time.